Guys, Bobby, going to give you some quick thoughts on this whole immigration, what's going on in Minnesota, deportations, ICE. Um, let me start with this. You know, the left is doing a good job distracting everyone about, what Trump's doing and this and that. And they're really we got to talk about what the real problem is. Real problem is what was allowed to happen that got us to this point. Trump ran and won president, okay, because the Democrats sucked at everything they did in the 4 years of Biden. And what the biggest deterrent was what? Illegals. Okay, the open border, people, millions of people just pouring into the country with some phony, half of them got through, the other half, asylum will set you up 7 years later, show up somewhere. Really, just it should never been allowed to happen. It should never be allowed to happen again. We do have a broken immigration policy. The fact that we can't make what Biden did illegal and never happen again. Okay, I know that this phony asylum stuff just to bring in a bunch of illegals so they can change the voting demographics. That's all that was about. You think they really care about the illegal immigrants? Of course not. So, guys, here's the point. They're doing a good job of spinning it. And some of you, I'm doing this video because we got elections coming up in midterms, and then we got a presidential election coming up in 3 years. And we better be real careful, okay? Because guess what? None of this would have happened without the Biden administration. Now, I'm going to be honest. The way Trump, he's not helping himself, the way he's handling some of it, rough housing, having quotas they got to do. I think Tom Holman's idea was right. Let's go after the bad people. But he also says when we run into the illegals, I don't care if they're good, they're here illegally and they got to have to face deportation. The only difference to that would be if they're right in the middle, they happen to be actually going to their asylum hearings and this and that, and they're in process, real process, not the phony Biden process. I think they should be allowed to continue. And the ones that are here forever, it's a slippery slope. But remember who created this. And here's where it really gets worse, guys, okay? I said to them, this is my lefties, this is why I'm doing this video, because I just can't get through to them. It's driving me crazy. I think I can get through. They just won't admit it. So I thought I'd put it out there. I said, okay, so Biden's allowed to do this. What do we do now with just like I just talked about? No, only criminals. Leave everyone else alone. Everyone else alone? Yep. The 20 million that came in, unless they're doing bad criminal stuff now, they don't get deported. Well, I said, not really setting a good precedence, but all right, let's see what happens here. I said, let's take it a little further. I said, let's say Gavin Newsom or some other lunatic left Democrat wins the election in 3 years. I said, what do you think they're going to do the first minute they're in office, just like Biden did? They're going to open the border up because that's their game plan. They got nothing else to run on and flood the country with as many illegals as they can. Now, let me ask you this. If we don't do anything about this time, what do you, I don't know, 20 million last time under Biden? What do you think is going to happen next time? When, hey, no one touched us the first time, maybe, and just like the lefty said, but well, this is why they come here. It's the greatest land in the world. They want opportunity. Maybe 60 million come. And guys, this isn't about pay, and that's what they don't like about Trump. They're not all bad. They're not all criminals. The majority of them do want to come here for a better life. We just can't handle it. Guys, I don't know how the left is pulling the wool over your eyes with some of this stuff. We can't handle it as a we only got so much resources. Okay, with trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. Illegals, Google this. If you don't believe me, just Google what does the illegal immigration cost Americans every year. You know what's going to come up? You know what came up for me today? 150 to 400 billion dollars a year between education, healthcare, or whatever else we're giving them. That's what illegals cost us. So what on earth are we doing? Okay, now this is what the lefties told me. This cracks me up. They said, well, they pay tax, they contribute all that work they do. They pay taxes, or they pay it. I said, well, wait a minute. There's millions and millions. I don't know how much the number is. Legal people waiting to come into this country. They'll take those jobs and they'll pay the taxes. So you're not gaining anything, just those jobs. I don't care if it's Americans or legal immigrants, they're going to pay the taxes that we think we're going to lose if we lose the illegals. Of course not. Now, another thing is, well, no one will do the job. Are you kidding me? Guys, no company, farmers, I don't care what it is, should be able to run a business and pay under minimum wage. That's the whole idea behind minimum wage. Okay, so we don't need, what do we need? Slave labor, illegals to come here for $7 an hour and pick crops? No, that shouldn't happen in this country. Pay a legal wage, okay, minimum wage at the least, and you have legal immigrants that will do those jobs, okay? Because look what they're coming over for. And as they better themselves, they can move on to other things. Okay, guys, so let's stop the bull that we need illegal. What a country this would be if we need to break the laws, immigration laws, just so we can have people pick our crops. Isn't that a little crazy? We need to break the laws so we can function as a country. Bullshit, okay? So what got to this is getting back to the story. I said, all right, so Gavin lets in, he gets elected, he lets 60 million people come in because this is the great land of opportunity. I said, now, this is the kicker. I said, now what do you say, guys, my two lefties? Let's say Gavin's out, Republican comes in because of the insanity. American people wake up again, a little late. They vote in back to a Republican. I said, now we've got the 20 million plus the 60 million. What do we do now with deportations? Can we start being a little more aggressive? No. This is what they both told me. Absolutely not. Only the criminals. So, guys, what is that? Let's break that down. They said, well, credit to one of them, well, no, I wouldn't be happy if Newsom let them all in again. Oh, you wouldn't be happy? You think Newsom gives a shit, my friend, if you're happy or not? He's going to do it because that's what they run on. That's their MO. So you're unhappy, but you don't want to send them back. So in a nutshell, my lefties are telling me, wink, wink, we really are for open borders. We say we don't, but we really are, because this is all about the huddled masses, and we got to be this warm country. Guys, let me be honest. I shouldn't say everyone, but the majority of people on the right love immigrants. We want to have as many that the country can take in to better the country. Yeah, this is a country built on immigrants, legal immigration. Okay, so don't fall for that either. Like we're a bunch of roughnecks that only want to have a white world. It's such ridiculous rhetoric by the left. Okay, we want legal immigration. Should be real simple. And I don't know. Don't know how it all works, but what's our census in the United States? We look at the numbers. Hey, guess what? For 2027, we can let in 1.5 million immigrants. From where? Then we got to decide what countries, what's the vetting process, what's the legal procedure, and we do our thing. That's all. It doesn't have to be all scholars. They can be average people's family that we want to bring in. So this whole thing that we need to be illegal to function as a country because we love everybody, it's costing us billions of dollars, is just insanity. Don't fall for it. Don't be duped. I'm telling you, there's a reason I'm cutting this. I know we got elections, and before you know it, they're going to try to pay Trump, Hitler, Trump this, Trump that. You guys fall for it. You put them back in power. They will open the borders, and we'll have 60 million people, and you won't even recognize this great country anymore, okay? We just don't, bad immigrants, good immigrants, we don't have the resources to take care of 80 million people that came here, maybe with good intentions, most of them, but with 72 cents in their pocket, floundering around trying to find work or whatever it may be, housing. no health insurance, whatever it is. Again, good intentions. We can't support the world, guys. We can't even take care of our veterans, and tons of Americans don't even know what to do. They're struggling, no health care, no, don't have enough funds. I mean, I'm chairman of a inner city kids in Delray. Some of those people can't even put food to the table right in Delray Beach, Florida. So don't tell me we got to take care of the huddled masses from all over the world. It's just insanity. Don't buy into it. Okay.